everyone! In this video, we'll be talking about the Capstone course. This is the last step to qualify to take the exam after you finish the other 6 courses. So whether you're taking the education courses or the accelerated path, you'll have to complete this before taking the exam. Taking a look at the CFP website, we noticed that there's not a lot of information on what the Capstone course actually is. It tells you who's required to take the course, and then if you frequently ask questions, but when you click on the drop down here, it basically just tells you that you'll have to complete the course at the end of your program. Not very helpful. It's also buried way deep into the website. You'll notice that it's kind of hard to find. So if you click on this Capstone alternative to see a little bit more information, again, it just tells you that the questions are based on the practice areas. Not very helpful. Here's my quick summary of what the Capstone course actually is. It essentially has 2 components, a long answer portion worth 85 points and an audio presentation worth 15 points. There are technically 10 questions you'll answer, but there are so many subparts to each question that it's hard to say how many it actually turns out to be. You'll choose one of those questions to orally present and submit as an audio file. So you never actually talk to a person, but you record your response and submit it. The questions range from ethics questions where you apply CFP standards given a scenario to calculating an amortization table and writing down calculator keystrokes to things like explaining the pros and cons of various retirement accounts. All of the questions will be based on a case study, although some of the questions are so generic that you won't need the case study facts to actually answer them. If you've taken any of the previous courses, you should be familiar with the case study format. Here's an open source example I'll link to below. This case study is a lot less extensive than the one Kaplan usually provides, which usually ends up being 6 to 7 pages of information. They often list a family, goals and objectives, balance sheet, cash flow information, maybe other miscellaneous things like disability insurance, family business, compensation of retirement portfolio, really anything that you can get information from that could be tested on. In terms of timeline, here's the email I received from Kaplan when I began winding down my courses. It took me about 2 weeks to complete this Capstone course and about 20 hours total. I mentioned in the first video, but Kaplan had told me that I needed to submit this Capstone course by January 24th for the March 2023 exam. So that equates to about 6 weeks before the exam window. In the end, it took about a week to get my grade back. When it comes to grading, I'm a little skeptical of how closely they look at it, which is good for all of us. I was terrified of failing, but I got 100% in the end, and I'm sure my answers weren't perfect. So if I can do it, you can do it. They provide a rubric that I'm confident if you follow closely and complete the whole thing, everything they're asking for, and you're decently correct, that you'll do well in this course. Kaplan has been very responsive throughout my whole process and will always respond to emails. So if you're unsure about answers, if they're sufficient, I recommend reaching out and asking for clarification on the wording of the questions, or I submitted a draft of a response I had written and asked them for edits, and they gave me the A-OK that it would pass through the grading process. So I hope this helped clarify what you're getting yourself into when you sign up for the Capstone course. If you've learned the material, then this part should honestly be rewarding and fun to see that you can answer all the questions. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more.